The worst fires in Los Angeles history are still burning out of control. Powerful Santa Ana winds are fueling the flames, winds so strong they're grounding much of the aerial water bombing vital to saving homes. At least 5 people have died and dozens are injured. More than 1,000 structures have been destroyed, many of them luxury homes in the upscale Pacific Palisades district, home to celebrities and the Hollywood elite. Multiple fires are burning. The worst is the Palisades fire, with homes also lost at Eaton. And tonight a new blaze has erupted in the Hollywood Hills, threatening well-known landmarks, including the Walk of Fame. A political blame game has already begun, with authorities admitting they're simply not prepared for fires of this magnitude. North America correspondent Barbara Miller begins tonight's coverage from Los Angeles.
California's largest city is alight. Its emergency services stretched to their limits. LA has seen its fair share of fires, but this is something else.
It's Armageddon. I'm driving through a war zone right now and I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm shocked.
More than 100,000 California residents are under evacuation orders.
Please leave the area.
This is crazy. There's a fire right outside our car.
For these 2 men, seen in a video circulated on social media, it appeared to be all over. Remarkably, they reportedly managed to escape. But despite the danger, some chose to stay.
I know this looks pretty stupid, but if I can save 1 ember from burning down my house, I'll take the risk.
The biggest blaze engulfed the exclusive Pacific Palisades neighborhood.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's get out of here.
It's being described as the most destructive in LA's history.
I have seen the front lines of the Palisades fire, and it is staggering.
The Eaton fire to the east is another monster. It's here fatalities have been reported.
You hear pop, 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 sound like a war zone. In fact, there were 2 big explosions that actually shook the ground.
Many are taking refuge in shelters, reflecting on their ordeal.
The smoke and the ash is so thick, you can't even see. You can barely see 5 feet in front of you.
And as night fell, another major headache, with a fire breaking out in Hollywood Hills. The fire chief appearing to be informed about it in the middle of a media briefing.
I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself so we can go ahead and start to strategize.
Dubbed the Sunset Fire, the blaze in Hollywood Hills is threatening some of the city's most famous locations and triggering a whole new wave of evacuations. A lack of water is hindering firefighting efforts, authorities admitting they're barely coping.
LA County and all 29 fire departments in our county are not prepared for this type of widespread disaster.
The US president has declared a major disaster.
We're prepared to do anything and everything as long as it takes to contain these fires and help reconstruct.
But the blame game has begun, with the president-elect pointing the finger at California Governor Gavin Newsom.
This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration.
This is just one small pocket of the Eaton fire, and you really get a sense here of what authorities are dealing with. You've got this building on fire, you've got this building on fire, and it's still spitting out embers. But none of the firefighters' attention is here at the moment. It's all on this big blaze over here, and that's at what we understand to be a bank.
As efforts to contain the fires continue, some are already returning to take stock. In this community on the edge of Pacific Palisades, there's only bad news.
This is it.
This was our home.
That was my view.
Yep.
160-degree view of the ocean.
This pile here used to be a 1969 XKE Jag convertible.
Here too, there's growing anger about why more could not have been done.
This is what happens when you cut the LA Fire Department budget by $23 million.
The ocean view's still here, but little else remains of this seafront paradise.
And correspondent Barbara Miller joins us now from LA. So, Barb, the latest fire is now bearing down on some of Hollywood's most famous landmarks.
That's right. That's the Hollywood Hills fire. It's been dubbed the Sunset Fire, and it's threatening areas including Hollywood Boulevard here. That's at the southern end of an evacuation zone. At the northern end of that, we've got Mulholland Drive. So these are really well-known names, and there was a fear that this Hollywood Hills fire, Joe, could threaten this Walk of Fame, could threaten the Dolby Theatre, for example. We've just been up in the hills, just up here, and the firefighters are a little bit optimistic at the moment, saying that some firebombing aircraft, which have now been able to operate again after the winds died down, that they've had some successes. But authorities are saying this is still a dangerous situation. They would like people out of these areas, and it's really brought it home to people that this is a fire, that these fires are really coming into the very centre of this city.
And this is also having an impact on the biggest business in town?
Absolutely. The movie industry, the production industry, a number of productions have been halted, we understand, including Hacks, Grey's Anatomy, Jimmy Kimmel Live. We've also heard that the Critics' Choice Awards have been postponed. Now, that was to be in a major award night. That's following on from the Golden Globes. And then another major award, or the major award night, the Oscars. In terms of that, they've extended the deadline for nominations for the Oscars. And that's in addition to some of the better known people here who are known to or who may have lost homes. We saw Paris Hilton, for example, posting that she actually watched her home in Malibu burn as she was watching television. So it's really hitting home. I think it was a real shock when this Hollywood Hills fire broke out, that the very fabric of this city is now threatened.
OK, Barbara Miller reporting there from LA.